because that's the part I always forget. So I just wanted to say welcome to our sneak peek. We are so excited that you are here. Whether you saw it on someone's Instagram or if you got a personal invite from your coach or from me, we are just really excited that you're here to learn a little bit more about what coaching is and what we do and if it's a good fit for you. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about our team and how I got started. My name is Mary Catherine. I am the founder of Team Heartstrong, and there are a lot of other teams represented on this call and within Team Heartstrong. And we are a 3-time elite team. We are the top 1% of our company, and all that means probably nothing to you except for we want you to know that when you join our team, you are joining a team that is making a difference. And we have lots of training. We have lots of things to get you started right and to help you make this a successful business. And so I got started, my story in a nutshell. I was an athlete in college, and then I graduated and kind of found myself lost a little bit. I loved group fitness. I went to lots of classes, but I slowly started like gaining weight just a little bit. I was never big, but I was never comfortable in my skin after college. And I thought I knew a lot about nutrition, but then when I really started getting into it, I did not know a lot. I started using MyFitnessPal and trying to stay under crazy calorie ranges. I did anything a magazine said, wouldn't eat bananas because they were too high in carbs, didn't eat carbs after 3, just all kinds of crazy diet mentality. Of course, there's my child. Molly Ann, you need to get back in bed. And so kind of wrestling with where do I fit post-college and post-athletics, and nothing was working. So I did this cycle for about 2 years, just really poor mindset around food and fitness in general, trying to like burn off what I ate, all of the things that you kind of hear. And I eventually had to have a hip surgery. And so I knew I had to get something under control, my nutrition under control. So I joined a challenge group just as a participant with Shakeology and doing PiYo, one of our programs. And that was the first time in, 2 years that I finally saw changes in my body. And so I got surgery and I stopped drinking Shakeology because I didn't need a protein shake when I wasn't working out. And so I was plugged into that fitness group and that accountability group, the same accountability groups that we still run. And this was 5 years ago. And I really do believe that that was the missing piece, that along with Shakeology, that really allowed me to change things. When you surround yourself with other people, like that just seeps into you. That positivity, that self-love, and all those things that we get to share in our group. And so I signed up for Shakeology just for the discount. I refused to say that I was going to coach. I didn't want anything to do with selling anybody anything. But then I slowly fell in love with just sharing something that was working for me and helping other people walk through and find something that works for them. So getting to help others with a change that finally worked for them was what was contagious for me. And I just showed up every day with no aspirations of making this into anything. And 5 years later, I can look back and see all that God has done. I am a top earner in our company. I make 6 figures just doing coaching. And this is something that I don't like to talk a lot about, so you won't see it on my Instagram very much. But because you're here and I want to really give you the real details about what coaching is and what it can do, I want to be open and transparent about that. And it's been a huge blessing for our family and a way that I can bless others just by doing something that I wake up and I love doing every single day. And that's helping other people just find what works. And I really believe that this can work for everyone. So that's a little bit about my story. And I wanted to start with the question, what do we do as coaches? Like, you talk about it all the time, MK, like you're coaching, but what does that actually look like? Leanne, you want to talk about like kind of the vital behaviors of what coaches do?
Okay, so the first thing as a coach is we are focusing on our journey first, getting healthy and how we're fueling our body and our nutrition. And so that's really how, like, the number one focus. And so you get to use all these amazing workouts that are available and convenient, and go through the program. And really, that's the first part, is focusing in on getting healthy, and that's what I needed. But then you're also sharing about it, just kind of like a diary, kind of like, this is what I'm doing. You're also just connecting with people around you, and on in real life and in social media. And as you're on a health journey, that's kind of a natural thing, because if you, like, for instance, if you worked in an office environment and you started taking care of yourself, people would probably notice that you started having more energy, or you looked a little bit different, or you're getting toned up or whatever. So they're going to ask you about it. So then you're able to talk about what you're doing. And then you can invite them along on the journey with you. So we are not trainers or anything special. Like, I'm not skilled in nutrition or anything like that, but we do have a toolbox of resources of amazing workout programs that are developed by the best of the best trainers, and nutrition programs by dietitians, and all of these things that have been proven that we get to help people with. So you're inviting people, you're on your own journey, you're inviting people along on the journey with you, you're connecting and being a friendly person. You're sharing, you're being a light, basically. You're also on your own journey, you're filling yourself up with growing your mental strength, your mindset, your all of your skills, your people skills, your all of that. And that's with personal development. So that's another vital behavior that we have as well. And that's the biggest blessing, because you just never know how much that can do for you. So that is another part of our vital behaviors. And then we're also getting people results as we're helping them on their journey. So they're joining us, and we are cheering them on and being the support for them through the ups and the downs.
Yeah, and Ilaria, where'd you go? Oh, there you are. Do you want to talk a little bit about like the challenge groups and kind of what takes place in the challenge groups, and how, like, once someone chooses to work with you, kind of how that process looks like?
Yeah, so we had an app that we use where we check in on each other every day. We kind of, support each other there, make sure that we're cheering each other on, keeping each other on track. Depending on what program you're following, you might have a challenge group where all the women are doing the same program, or a challenge group where everybody's doing something different. And every morning we just check in with each other and just support each other. Is super cool, because that's one reason why I wanted to start this journey, was I felt like I was alone all the time. And so now I get to connect with all of you guys and more people, and girls I've never even met before, and just really be part of their journey. So that's what we do. We check in with our fitness and also our daily shakes. And then the post usually has a quote, something motivational, just talking about what are some ups and downs of the day that you've had, and how can we fix that, and just challenge each other on becoming better.
Yeah. And so just like as coaches, we're kind of, like Leanne said, we're doing the journey ourselves, and then we're inspiring others to do it too. I want to jump a little bit away from that topic and go and have a couple of you guys share just kind of like how you got into coaching, your personal story. For for a hot minute before we go to like another question. So Haley, while you're on, you want to share your story?
Does somebody want to go first? I'm almost at my house and I would just be more comfortable looking at you guys instead of driving.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ty, you want to go?
Sure.
Go
Can
ahead.
y'all hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Okay, so just about how I got started. The short story. One of my old friends' wives was posting about Beachbody on Facebook. I didn't know her, but I knew him. And I was desperate at this point. I had tried everything and nothing worked. Like I was going to the gym. I tried like reps and just a bunch of stuff. And so she messaged me, which she actually just cold messaged me. She was like, hey girl, do you want to try this? And I said, sure. But I did it because I knew her and I trusted her. So, well, I knew her husband. So I felt like, okay, this has to be legit. And then once I started learning more about it, I said, okay, like it took like 4 months actually, which is so stupid now that I think about it. Like I should have just jumped right in, but I signed up as a coach because I wanted the discount. And I didn't want to share anything. She was posting all the time. And I was like, I don't have time to do that. I don't have time to post. And then like, it just worked for me and I wanted to share it with everyone. And so I made time. I started losing weight. Like I started cooking. I actually started cooking like real food and vegetables that my family liked. My husband's such a picky eater. He was worse than the kids. And now he's like open to a lot more things. And so I'm getting up, now I'm waking up early to work out and just work on myself. And so that's how I got started with coaching. And that's why I'm still here. I could go on, but I'll stop. I just love it so much.
Oh, I love it. Let's see, who else wants to share their story? Let's do one more person share their story, and then we'll go on to objections, because I know that when I was sitting on a call like this, I had so many like reasons why I could not do this, and I really want to touch on that more than anything. So who wants to share their story, and then we'll go to objections?
I can share if you want me to share now. I'm just literally pulling up outside my house.
It's up to you. If you want to go in, you can, and we can wait for you.
It's all good. Just give me 1 second and I'm parked.
And now you're frozen. Haley, can you hear us? Okay, I'm gonna mute Haley until she comes back. And Veronica, did you want to go? I just saw your hand.
Yeah. Hey guys, I am Veronica Hughes. I am a coach on Team Fit for More with Leanne. And let me just start off by saying I was the worst challenger ever. I think I probably showed up for myself maybe once or twice. Literally, maybe in a month, I would chime into the group, check in. Leanne, I felt like she was harassing me at first, because she would always check in with me, always ask me how I'm doing, always ask me, what my nutrition was like and how I was feeling and what program I was working on. And I just kept throwing up like a wall after a wall after a wall of excuses and why I couldn't do it. Well, fast forward 2 years. I did that for a while, and then fast forward 2 years, I'm pregnant with my third baby. And really in my heart, and I shared this with her, I did not want to go back to work. I had always been the sole provider of my family. I've worked my butt off, taking care of my family, and I did not want to do that with my last child. Like I wanted to experience what it felt like to take care of my own child and not have to pay for daycare. So I prayed on it. God knew the desires of my heart. I was supposed to go back to work May 15th. And my employer actually let me go because I nursed my daughter. I'm still nursing her. And they ended up letting me go because they weren't flexible enough to allow me to be at home for the time that I needed to be home to take care of my daughter. So they basically gave me an ultimatum. You either come into work or you lose your job. So at that point I was like, well, what am I going to do? Like, I'm not just going to leave her and let her starve. She refused a bottle. I had so many different bottles in my cabinet. It was ridiculous, you guys. So to make the long story short, God answered my prayers. I jumped into coaching. When she approached me again, she was like, just do it. You have the drive for it. You have the passion for it. I know once you start, you're going to love it and it's going to be an amazing experience for you. So I hit the ground running. It was eye-opening for me because when I first started helping people, I felt the way Leanne felt for me. Like I really loved seeing my challengers like be lifted up when I would just share with them my experience. And then I would hear little tidbits about their day and how much better they felt. And, just even a simple thank you so much for just even caring about me. And I'm such a lover and a giver and a servant of God. And this is like the best experience that I've had in being able to share my platform with other women. And I tell you what, when I had the chance to go to my first retreat, my fall retreat, and meet MK and all the other girls on this call that I had the chance to meet, literally, guys, I've never felt so comfortable. I took my baby girl with me. Who can take their kid with them on a work trip and like literally have fun? People just embraced me and loved me. And this coaching experience, if Leanne would have never gotten on me every day for 2 years, I would not be here and I wouldn't be helping other people. And I just wouldn't have the joy that I have in my life now. It really is. It's so joyful to just share with people and be in their life. It's almost like like my favorite podcaster says, Keisha, I'm like your girlfriend having coffee with you. Like I'm that person. So that's my short how I got into coaching deal. I love it. And I'm so happy I said yes.
Thanks, Veronica. You made me tear up. If you guys see me like tearing up on this call, it's because it always makes me emotional just seeing how like one little thing that I did 5 years ago has turned into so much bigger, and like just one decision that I made resulted in one of you guys saying yes to coaching, and then you made an impact on lives. It's just like nuts. Okay, so I want to go back to objections, and I'm just going to open the floor. So whether you are a coach or not, you can throw out an objection that you have. If you're a coach already, I'd love for you to just share what objection you had and then how kind of you overcame it. And so I'll go first. My biggest thing was I did not want to be that girl on social media. I did not want to be that girl. And we all know that girl, right? These eyelashes will change your life. The shampoo will make you beautiful. All the things, right? And I'm not knocking any other company. I am just saying I did not want to be that girl that was always trying to sell something, whose page you came to and it was just like, whoa, she's going to sell me something. And I just didn't want to annoy my friends or my family. And, the way that I kind of got like a mental mind shift was I am not selling things. What I have to offer, whether someone takes it or leaves it, has changed my life, and I've seen it help so many other people. So if I am sharing about it, or if I invite 10 people and only one person wants to join my group and the 9 others tell me no, get lost, it was worth it because I know that one person is going to experience something amazing. And the other thing is that you guys all, if you're not a coach and you're listening to this, you were invited by a coach and you weren't offended or annoyed or any of those words at their newsfeed, right? Like you follow them on Instagram and they're not annoying you. So why do you think that if you sign up to coach, you're suddenly just going to be annoying? You can go to any of our pages and see more than just, hey, buy this, hey, buy this. And in fact, I guarantee you, you will not see any of that all over our pages because it's just not about that. And we teach you guys how to make your social media not a sales ad, okay? Because nobody wants to be that. Okay, so that was my biggest objection. And open mic night.
Okay, I think, hi, I'm Madeline. I've been coaching for a year. I think my biggest objection was time. And I think like we all have the same 24 hours in a day. And when I started using the Beachbody platform, I started as a challenger. I had my wedding coming up. I was in grad school. I was also a graduate student assistant, teaching, grading, running my own research labs. I was collecting my thesis data. I was also working as a sports scientist for the men's lacrosse team. Like, I had no time at all. Yet I found myself in a position where I wanted to get well for my wedding, and I started these programs. And then MK was like, hey, what do you think about coaching? And I was like, girlfriend, I've got so much on my plate. I have no time. But what she didn't know is I had this desperate need for income. I had a need for income that was so great that I was struggling to pay my rent and I was struggling to pay my utility bills. It was just a very hard season for me. And so she didn't know that, but that is what kind of made me think about it a little bit. And so I told her, I was like, I don't have time. And she's like, well, everyone has the same 24 hours in a day. Write out your schedule. And then she also began to tell me, she was like, what amount of time do you think this takes? And I was like, I don't know, like 5 hours a day. And she's like, well, what if I told you it took an hour a day? I know, she's giving me bug eyes. What if I told you it took an hour a day? You could focus, get your hour done in a day. I was like, I don't have a consistent hour, MK. Did I just tell you my schedule? And she was like, well, what if I told you you could work in Power Pocket? And so these Power Pockets literally were my saving grace. It's working in like 15 and 30 minutes throughout your day. So I committed because I had such a financial need for income at the time. And I committed to working these Power Pockets, kind of like what Leanne was talking about, our daily business activities. I just broke them up into 15 little minute pockets in between research labs and class and grading and going to lacrosse practices and all of that stuff. So once I kind of took a step back from like, woe is me, I have no time for this. Like my life is busy enough. And I realized everyone has the same 24 hours. And I just really, it was really important to me. So I just prioritized, executed, did the Power Pockets, and it was awesome.
Am I able to go now? Am I unfrozen?
Yeah, go.
Okay, so I will proudly say this now, but my biggest objection was my ego. When I came from a fitness background, athletic background, when I had finally hit my heaviest point at 235 pounds, when you're 5 foot tall, it's hard on your body. But of course, I was an athlete way back when. I knew what I was supposed to do. Ain't nobody going to tell me what to do with my body, right? So that was my biggest objection was, coaches that I knew trying to reach out. And I wasn't having any of it because I knew what I needed. But it basically came down to a point of my son asking me to play tag with him one day. And I literally ran at the park for 20 seconds and thought I was going to collapse. He was then in my lap crying, Mommy, I need you. I want you to play. Well, I was crying because I couldn't play. And that was not something I wanted at 24 years old. So it came down to basically putting my ego aside, trying it, but continually saying, I don't need to be a coach. I can just go on my own journey. I don't need to tell people what to do when I didn't want to be told myself. And literally the changing point for myself was last May. I was in the hospital with my mom on her last days. I was actually working out her hospital bed because I was not leaving her side. And she basically woke up in one of my workouts and said, "You have completely transformed your life. Like, you've lost 90 pounds. You've built yourself up from a pile of ashes, and you need to get out there and share this because somebody out there needs you, even if it's one person." And when she passed away 3 days later, that was something I took with myself. And I just said, you know what, if I can help one person out there read a book for personal development, try eating better, get their lives so that they're not trapped in a body that I knew I was trapped in. I literally had myself so trapped and stuck. I was at McDonald's ordering 5 cheeseburgers and eating a bag of mini eggs down by the river so that nobody saw me, because I knew what I needed to do in my life because I was an athlete before. I knew what I needed to do. But in that moment, 95 pounds now later, trapped in my body, hiding and eating, did I really know what to do? So reaching out was basically, the community. We went to our fall retreat and we were known as the crazy Canadians, but I beg to differ. Those love bugs are absolutely annoying. But it basically came down to the community and wanting to at least help one person in my life. And if that's basically what I've accomplished, the reach outs I get and everything else are the most rewarding thing that you can do. And basically all I can say is stop hesitating, get on it. You were meant to do something in this world. That's why we're here today. So that's me.
Are we allowed to do objections, Mary Catherine, still? My biggest objection, it sometimes still is am I being sucked into some either like cultish pyramid scheme thing that like, Mary Catherine knows that I was the most skeptical coach. I said no for 9 months. I didn't believe in Shakeology, all these things. So it took me 9 months to research Shakeology and actually understand the science behind it to realize that, and researching the alternatives. So like the knockoff I was drinking when I canceled my Shakeology after the first month was filled with soy fillers, artificial flavoring, stuff that I was putting into my body. It was going in my breast milk and going to my baby. So when I understood that, that transformed. But the other objection for me was like, now I'm just going to have to recruit all these like coaches. I'm not really going to make any money, right, Mary Catherine? And she told me right up front, so you guys know that we are a company where you have to be a product of the product, right? So you do have to be using Beachbody. You have to be on Shakeology, right? You have to make that into your rhythm. You need to be doing the workouts. You need to be trying other things like beach bars and things. But it's a really low bar for entry. So I've been watching people on social media sell like, is it LuLaRoe? I shouldn't say real names of like companies, but like, you know, stockpiles of like leggings in their back closet. And like slowly their whole house had become like a store, right? Where they actually had to physically house products. It was a huge buy-in, thousands of dollars at the front end. Y'all, coaching costs you $15 a month. And I get all this value for it. I get a website, I get all my shipping and handling, my customer service, everything. And I can quit anytime I want. There's no contract that I'm signing, you know, in blood that I'm going to be here for forever. When I came in, I told Mary Catherine, if I break even and help one person, this is worth it to me. Because I was so passionate. I was doing it for free, honestly. I was like a walking Beachbody billboard. And I can tell you, I have made a profit. I have covered or made a profit for the past 11 months that I've been coaching, the entire time. I now average, and I'll just be honest about it, I average about $1,200 a month. And that is, y'all, in pure commissions. So some coaches have been asked, or prospective coaches have been asking, like, wasn't this just like a pyramid scheme and I'm only going to make money if I like suck people into the machine, right? Y'all, I haven't sucked anybody into the machine. Maybe that makes me a bad business owner, but like, I've just been helping people. And just by helping people, I'm able to cover my husband's student loan and more, right? So it depends on how you define what is worth it in terms of income. If you think 1,200 or lower is good money, which I think it is, you don't have to recruit a single soul. If you want to work part-time and make a full-time income, by all means, you're going to have to build a team, but that's because you're going to max out your capacity to help people. Like and Mary Catherine and I talk about this, like we can only help about 10 girls a month, like help them really well. And even when there's launches, I might have like 20 women. I'm like, oh gosh, I can't really get much bigger than this. I have to recruit help. Because if you're in the people business like we are, and our heart is in this, then you do want to build a team. But that's also because you want to see people find the same joy that Veronica was talking about, right? And Leanne, like for 2 years, and now she's just lit up. So you want to mentor people. And then the compensation plan comes down later, but like basically as a team you earn like video game points for how much as a team you sell. But like Mary Catherine's my upline, I benefit from her video game points, so I don't feel taken advantage of by Mary Catherine because I help her and she helps me because we're all in this together. So I no longer feel like I am being sucked into an evil scheme I don't understand. I've been in it for a year. It's been nothing but a blessing in my life, and you don't have to worry. The end.
Okay, we've got about 10 more minutes. Does anyone else want to share objections that they had? We've talked about time, pyramid schemes, social media, recruiting other coaches. Go ahead, Veronica.
So, can y'all hear me? Okay. So, when I first started, I was pregnant. I was like 5 months pregnant with my daughter. And in my head, I had this fear of how are these people going to trust me? How are they going to confide in me? How are they going to believe in me as a person that is fit when I look like a whale, right? I mean, we all feel that way if we've had kids. So in my mind, like it was playing tricks on me. And I was like, you know what? This is actually the healthiest I've been in all of my pregnancies because I committed to working out the entire time. And then I committed to staying on that plan after I had my baby. So I've had tons of conversations and heart to hearts with Leanne where she's always telling me to get out of my head, listen to your personal development because it's really going to change the way that you view yourself, and just really digging into how God sees me. And he doesn't see me as a mess. He doesn't see me as someone that is not good enough, that doesn't have the experience. Just because I'm not certified doesn't mean I don't have the experience. I have the life experience. So I know what a working corporate mom feels like, coming home from working 10-hour days and then having to take care of all the things that moms do. I know what that feels like. So that was more of how I got to relate to people. And when they started asking me, so how did you start? Or, how do you feel about being a coach? How is it something that you're able to do and do it well? And to be honest, in the beginning, like I said, I had the fear in me, but I couldn't let that fear show. And I feel like now that fear is no longer there because I have a group of women that are constantly saying the same things that I'm reading about in my devotionals, that I'm reading about in my Bible, that I am a warrior, that I am strong, that I am enough, that I am empowered, that I can do this. And it doesn't matter where you start. Everybody has a day one. Just like Haley was saying, she, was overweight and unhealthy, and she wanted to be healthy for her family. We all want to be healthy. We all have a reason why we're here and why we're doing this. Everybody's story is different, and my story just seems to impact people that are moms and are working moms, and that's where it hit home for me. If I can relate with even just one or two people and just let them know, look, I understand you're busy and you have all these things, but you are enough. You can do this. You just have to believe in yourself. And that's kind of where my whole fear of objection came in about just me not being good enough. But Leanne, she's such a wonderful coach. And MK, you guys are just amazing at lifting us up and empowering us and making us like really see the true potential that we are and that we can be. And it's a blessing. It's really a blessing. Love y'all.
Okay. I wanted to ask Lucy. Lucy, can you put your video on for a second? She does not know that I'm asking her to do this. Oh, Lucy. Okay, while Lucy is trying to get on, I wanted Jen. Jen, will you share kind of your story quickly for us? Go. I'm trying to unmute you. Oh,
good. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you want my coaching story, or kind of my objection, or I'll give you the quick info.
Just go.
So okay. So I lost a lot of weight. I lost a significant amount of weight on Weight Watchers, Counting Points, a couple years ago, and I found myself plateauing. And I was basically at the end of last year. So I've been a coach for about a year. So beginning of 2019, I realized I was ending 2018 the same way I had started it. And it was, heavier than I wanted to be, very, I'd been roller coastering all year. So I knew I needed a change. And I'd been following my coach. We were friends in high school, and she was talking about this program getting these amazing results in 20 minutes. I love working out. I love Zumba. So working out was not new for me. And when I saw 20 minutes, time is something that, is just like not ever on my side. So I was like, this is great. I'm doing this. And as soon as I started, I fell in love with Shanti, fell in love with it all. And then I was not going to coach. And I'm so sad I missed Shanti. He was at our team retreat this weekend, for those of you who weren't following. But I was not going to coach. I said, it was like MK said, I was like, I'm not going to be that girl. I don't post on social media much. Like, I'm not doing that. I don't have the time. But as soon as I saw the results I was getting and realized the community that was there, I said, I've got to share this. And it was very much, okay, I'll do this for fun when I have time. And I just want my shakes paid for. I love my Shakeology. I want them every month. I just want them paid for. But I think the biggest, probably two turning points for me, and when I really stepped it up and became serious about really wanting to build a team, were the events. So going to the Coach Summit in July, I had a great time just meeting everybody, and it was a lot. It was very overwhelming, and I walked away going, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with all of this? Plugged into the team. And then I qualified for the retreat with a lot of you guys in October. And that was when it clicked for me that, like, I want to host retreats. I want to get a community of people together that, I also connect with, that have the same passion as we do, for health and fitness. And that's where I'm at today. So yes, I didn't really give you an objection, but it's awesome. I love it.
That's okay, because I was actually going to ask you to talk about community.
Oh, perfect. So I covered it. It's amazing. And our super weekend events, like, we just have a blast. Working out together, and it's just so much fun. I love it.
Okay, so that was going to be kind of the next thing that I was going to touch on is community. A lot of you guys, followed us while we were on this retreat and saw that we got to work out with Shanti, which was just as amazing as you can imagine. But I think a lot of times for me, I would see people going to these things and think, oh gosh, they must be like working so hard, and they probably are, and so did we, but like they must be like the top of their company. This is like not for everyone. It's probably really exclusive. But I just wanted to point out that Maddie and Aaron were both on this retreat last weekend and have been coaching a year or less. I host a retreat every fall. Jen was there. How long had you been coaching? Like, I don't know, 5 months, 7 months, something like that. Ilaria was not there, but qualified to be there. Like, we have events where you don't have to be earning $1,000 a month. You don't have to, you know, you can qualify for some of these things, especially our fall retreat, by not like being at the top of the company or whatever. You know, your hard work is recognized. And we have quarterly events in cities all over the US. They're called Super Weekend. And you get together with coaches in your area and hear from a speaker and see what's coming out, and just really get like filled up. We do live workouts. There's usually samples, just a lot of fun things. I know in Orlando we have a lot going on, and we try and get together for dinner once a quarter. I wish it were more, but we, you know, we have a lot of things that really build community. Summit, what Jen talked about, our big, huge coach conference. A lot of us are going to Punta Cana in like a month and a half in March, which is a free trip that we earned. So it's just, the opportunity is open for everyone. Don't think that like these community things and these things that we're going to are only for the tip top and you have to be working in this business for 5 years. You know, you come in and you get to earn these things too. And so community is huge. And I wanted that to just segue right into that as we wrap up, unless anyone has any questions that they have. I wanted to kind of touch on how to get started and how much it costs to get started. So if you are a challenger already, like you already have a coach, you've already been plugged into a group, to sign up as a coach is free. It's free. Like you already, all it costs is your actual materials. That's the word I'm looking for. So if you've never signed up with Beachbody, the same cost that it costs just to sign up as a participant is the same cost that signs you up as a coach. It's $160 right now. That gives you your workouts for a year and a month of your Shakeology or the Energize and Recover. That's it. There is no fee involved. There is a $15 a month fee that Erin mentioned. That takes care of all the behind the scenes, your website, your inventory, shipping, customer service, you know, the company that runs Beachbody. But with that, you get 25% off of everything. So coaches get 25% off everything, and it's only $160 to sign up. Okay, that's it. Once you get signed up, we have a mentorship, a new coach training system that you start. You get put into like a small group of other new coaches where you learn together. You get added to our team page to where we give you and pour that support on you and help you and teach you what to do as a new coach. So it's not just you sign up and we're like, hope you figure this out. Good luck. Hope you know how to post on Instagram, right? Like you go through training and we help you. That's why we're a team. You don't have to run the groups by yourself. You get to do that like with your mentor coach until you're ready to do that on your own. But just know that like all those fears that you have about like, oh my gosh, what do I do if I were to actually sign up as a coach? You get help and training to go through that. And so I wanted to kind of open the floor. If any of you tuning in have questions that we didn't cover, now's the time. Just unmute yourself and go. Anybody. Don't be shy. Okay. If no one has questions, I'm going to just open the floor. And if anyone feels like they want to share something that we didn't cover. Ooh, Lucy, you're back. Okay. So Lucy is a brand new coach. She started a month ago. And I wanted you to just share kind of like what your first month was like and how you have had success your first month. She hit her first business goal, is on track to help her third person in her first month, and just she's had great success as a new coach. So I wanted her to kind of share a little bit about that.
Okay, so let me start back at the beginning of this month. So MK approached me, and like right now I'm in my final semester of nursing school, recently engaged, beyond busy. So I was thinking, how am I going to make time for this? Like right now, I'm sitting here writing my days out by hour. how I can make everything work. So at first I was kind of don't know how I'm going to make time for this, but like we talked about making a schedule. So like tomorrow morning, I'm going to get up at 4:30 and I'm going to get my workout in before I have to go to the hospital for 12 hours. Then I'm going to come home, invite my friends, girls I don't know, whatever. It's just, my thing has been learning to make time. That was the main thing I was worried about. So with one of my first challengers in my group is my roommate. So we started this bar program together, and she's loved it enough that she was like, I want to sign up. And she's doing the workouts every day. Like, she just sprained her ankle 2 days ago and was doing the bar workout with me yesterday. So I told her she is what's giving me motivation to, like, the days I don't want to get up and work out, she's giving me motivation. But I share on my Instagram stories every day, and I have people messaging me like, okay, what is this, blah blah blah. My big thing was I wasn't afraid of sharing. That's just like, I'm kind of an introvert when you meet me, and then when I'm used to you, I just don't shut up. So the sharing was not what I was scared about. It was more so just time. And I've learned over the past 2 weeks, lots of planning and stuff, that like, you've got to be able to sit down and make time to do this, but also to make time for yourself, to not, I was afraid like, oh my gosh, it's going to take 6-7 hours of my day to send invites, do this, post this, but like, there's enough time in the day. Like, I don't know who it was earlier said an hour. Literally, that's what I'm doing right now. Maybe 15-20 minutes more in the day that I have time to check in, post something. That's it. It's totally doable.
And you've had a great first month. And
yes, it's been very busy, and I'm looking forward to February.
Okay, so with that, we're going to close this up unless anybody else has something they want to say. I made it a goal to make it 30 minutes, and it's been 49 minutes because we all love this so much. So I can't really complain about that. But next steps, if you're watching this, would be to reach out to the coach that invited you. If you are ready to get going and join us in making an impact. So thank y'all for tuning in. I hope it was helpful. And if you